Hello, everyone, and welcome to our joint webinar, JetOctopus and OMcollective. My name is Sten, and I'm going to be the one presenting to you today. And I welcome very warmly Pieter Serraris, who will be also co-presenting with me today. The main topic, as you can see, is the SEO for 2026 and all the tech and content strategies that actually work. And everything is going to be wrapped up for you today. So stay tuned. Um, Probably let's wait a couple more minutes and we can start. Okay,
Yep.
so yeah, I think we're ready to start. And here is the intro word for Peter, please.
Hi. Thanks, Stan, and JetOctopus team for having me on this webinar. My name is Pieter Serraris. I'm a strategy director and lead of the SEO team at OMcollective. We're based in Belgium, where we have numerous medium-sized to big clients, locally in Belgium and worldwide customers, which we service on 5 fields. Strategy obviously is the main one, where we always start with customer experience, which is a very broad term for everything to optimize websites, so SEO, CRO, GEO, etc. Obviously, data activation is very important as well. We have a very strong advertising part. And then maybe a bit more unusual for marketing agencies that we also have a staffing and recruitment department where we help our customers find the right people, temporary or fixed. So that's us.
Great, thank you. Thanks, Peter. And yeah, just a couple of words about myself. So yes, my name is Stan, and I work at JetOctopus for last 2 years already. I've been in SEO since 2013, and I represent the JetOctopus company. We are the fastest JavaScript-enabled crawler on the market, providing all the websites, the analytics across their crawls, across all of the log types, and of course about the AI logs as well. And we're going to cover this topic today a little bit too. So we're really like working with the enterprise websites, with huge websites, multi-million page websites, with complex JavaScript rendering issues, internal linking and website structure issues. So almost all of the topics which we're gonna really discuss today really soon. So let's kick in. And today's two main topics are the technical and the content issues and the strategies which you need to follow in 2026. And all of those findings are based on the latest researches and things we already, all the knowledge we've already gathered inside our teams. So let me just probably make a small recap for everyone about AI. So everyone already knows that AI has been here already for a couple of years, but only recently in 2025, during 2025, the AI bots activity was rising extremely quickly, sharply. So there are, of course, you know that there are also three main AI agents which users work with. Those are like ChatGPT, Claude, and Perplexity, right? And of course, ChatGPT is the strongest among them. But all the marketeers and SEOs, they have to deal with not only these three, but also with Gemini, which also combines the infrastructure of Google and works with the Google index to show to be able to answer the questions of the users, right? Of course, all the SEOs also have to deal with the AI overuse and the AI mode in the Chrome browser. So this becomes even more complicated from each next month, each next week, I would say.
Yeah. So of these AI tools, which ones or which one would you advise your clients to mainly focus at because they acquire maybe some a different approach? Is there one or two that you would really say, yeah, pay more attention to this one?
Yeah, I would definitely recommend paying attention mostly to ChatGPT, and there are a couple of reasons for this. The first one is probably because ChatGPT is the biggest one. It's the most active AI bot on the web. And another reason is that um, Gemini is probably the smartest right now and has the access to much more data than all of the rest of the AI tools. But Gemini activity is extremely hard to distinguish from the original Google bot. So unfortunately, yeah, this is not possible like for a very big amount of bot hits to your servers, right? And another reason I would definitely list ChatGPT as the one AI tool to look after is because Claude and Perplexity, they don't link out that much. So you're not gonna see a lot of referral traffic, and you won't be able to measure that based on like your conversions or clicks or goals completed on your website. So I would definitely stick to ChatGPT first. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks for the questions. And yeah, as you can see, so the total AI bots activity compared to Google bot is roughly around like a 50% based on JetOctopus data. But the reason we're talking about this right now is that actually there are three types of activities of AI bots on the web. So partially they're self-training upon your data. Another part of AI bots activity is actually searching for new information on the web. So they are basically crawling the web the way as search bots do, right? But there is another third part of AI bots activity is reaching the websites while users are doing like real-time searches or something that AI tools don't know about. So they were not taught about like everything on the web still, right? In 2026. So most of AI tools activity, as we've seen here, for example, in comparison to this chart, is that AI tools are visiting your sites while users are actually searching for information in AI. And that's actually 65% of everything, of all AI bots activity on the web and what they do, right? Um, Additionally, since 2025, ChatGPT started to search a lot on behalf of its users. So I mean, by saying search, I mean they actually like AI, ChatGPT actually Googles on behalf of the users. They take those like prompts and slice them down, like divide into smaller parts, add some additional terms, and so on and so on. They modify the searches, and actually Google on your behalf. So this creates like a huge amount of fan out searches, and those numbers are also growing since the beginning of 25 and middle 25. So yeah, I think we're gonna cover this topic a little bit later today as well. So yeah. Um, so knowing all of the above, which has already happened, right? So this is not something which happened recently. This has happened already, like during 2025 and 2024. So the server logs of your website is the only data source actually which exists in the world that can provide you the data about the AI activity and the activity of AI bots on your website. And by having all this data, you're actually able to see if AI bots actually crawl your sites or not. So you can find some bottlenecks or things they stumble upon they can't reach, for example, some parts of your pages or parts of your websites. Um, you can understand whether your pages are actually discovered or not, and what content is like preferred by AI bots, and then further shown to the users. So this is the holy grail, you know. So having the logs analytics on your website is extremely essential, not only to measure the AI bots activity as well, but also about measuring the Google bot activity as well, the website crawling, um, crawl budget waste, and so on. So to sum up this, just as an opening phrase, so SEO is no longer about ranking the pages only, right? It's also about being selected as a source of an answer by AI. So you need to make sure AI trusts you and chooses your content so that they can actually use that to distribute across their interfaces to millions of other users, right? So let's start with the crawling. So everyone is familiar with the like meta name robots, or for example with canonicals, right? So the thing is that AI bots, unlike the search bots like Bing or Google bot, they don't follow your meta name robots and canonical rules. So they continue to visit non-indexable pages, and they waste their time a lot there. Um, on the other hand, I can definitely say, and we've tested this across a lot of our clients' websites as well at JetOctopus. So AI bots, they actually follow the robots.txt rules. So unlike the behavior which Googlebot has upon those files, because they can continue crawling the pages which you've logged there, AI tools really listen to robots.txt rules. So in case you want to trim and rule the way AI bots crawl your website, you can use robots.txt. So this is probably one of the only things which you can use. Of course, talking about this again, so AI bots do not listen to LLM.txt files. So they don't crawl this and the file, and they don't follow the rules listed there. Another, like point number two, another very important file which you're also aware about are your XML sitemaps. AI bots use the XML sitemaps a lot to find the information, find a lot of your URLs from your website at the same time, and to further crawl it. Don't forget to list your XML file in your robots.txt, because AI bots are not taught to find it on your website, because and basically the XML sitemap doesn't have any internal links, right? So the only place it should be mentioned is the robots.txt. So don't forget to mention your XML sitemap in your robots.txt file, and use your robots.txt to tune the AI bots crawling. Those are like the two, I'd say, most important things to remember regarding the crawlability by AI bots.
Yeah. If we talk about adding disallows, perhaps, or disallowing certain agents in the robots.txt, what do you recommend to your clients there? Are there specific bots you recommend them to disallow entirely, or just parts of the website when it comes to AI specific bots?
Some of the clients, they actually opt out of being crawled by the AI training bots like GPT bot and Anthropic bot. So they don't, sometimes they have some exclusive content, I would say. So they don't want the AI to benefit from it. So additionally, you would save a part of your server resources, which will not slow down your TTFB, but before blocking the training AI bots, you better before check if you're actually crawled by them, if you're crawled by search bot and AI user bot as well. Additionally, regarding this, so blocking the AI training bot does not influence being crawled by AI search bot as well. So there is no reason for this. I mean, there is no connection between those two bot versions. Yeah, that's it. Okay, thank you. And the next part is about the website structure. So AI bots are not that powerful as search bots, right? So they are built to be the answer, not to crawl the web, right? Not to search from the first from the very beginning, I mean. And all those bots, they crawl differently. Even the two different versions of the same bot, for example, OpenAI search and OpenAI training bot, they crawl the websites in different way. So for example, here on the left, you can definitely see that Googlebot is reaching the pages 2, 3, 4 clicks away from the homepage, like a couple of dozens of times, sometimes like 100 of times per month. But if, for example, we'll have a look at the AI search bot, the bot which is responsible for finding the information on your website, this bot comes only one time per month for a page. And actually, the share of the pages which he visits, the further they are from the homepage in terms of clicks, not the slashes in the URL, right? So there is a much smaller chance that OpenAI search bot will find some new information there on your website. In comparison to this same OpenAI, but the training bot, which is used to find information and train the ChatGPT LLM based on your data, crawls the websites in a different way. So he might revisit the pages more often, and it doesn't actually matter how deep the useful pages sit in the website structure. So this bot version, this AI bot version, will continue crawling your website and training upon, and it actually doesn't matter where it is. So this bot might be much more active on your website. So this is what we've actually talked about earlier a little bit on the previous slide. So blocking the training bot might save some of your server resources. That's true. That's true. But keep in mind that for search bot, so everything which all the pages on your website which were not found by OpenAI search bot, those pages won't be used within the answers. So basically, OpenAI user bots will not further come to those pages which he didn't find previously, and the AI tools will not drive users to the pages they didn't know about previously. So you need to keep your website internal linking very spread. You need to keep your website structure, the depth of your website structure very small, so that most of your money pages and all the pages with useful content for the users should be reachable to AI bots. So this is the goal here, I would say. Next one is, of course, the same as Googlebot. AI bots, they don't click buttons. And this is another point, like why the internal links are becoming like more critical right now. So the weak internal linking is almost equal to AI invisibility. And yeah, the point which we discussed earlier a little bit. So blocking the training bot doesn't influence the AI search bot and the AI user bots from crawling. So this is the example of one of the websites which has the AI training bot being closed in robots.txt, and this bot doesn't crawl, but the ChatGPT user bot reaches the website 1,000 times per day at least. At the same time, the OpenAI search bot, which is constantly looking for new information, new pages, or some updates on the pages this bot already knows about on your website, are being checked hundreds of times per day still. So this is not the issue for these two bot types. And of course, the last one, and it's becoming a little bit tricky, and we're going to discuss this a little bit further. So AI bots don't render JavaScript. So unlike the, let's say, classical search bots like Googlebot or BingBot, those bots are able to render your pages with JavaScript and see the content which is executed by JavaScript on your pages. It takes a little bit of time between the moments when the HTML is fetched and then the moment when actually the rendering Googlebot will come and check the page if it has some JavaScript and the content there, like internal links or probably some tables or FAQ sections, right? So everything which is rendered by JavaScript is going to be invisible to AI bots and won't be used within the answers. This is the data based on this month. So until March 2026, AI bots still cannot render JavaScript when they're crawling the web. A little bit more about the JavaScript. So actually, when I said it's going to be a little bit tricky, there is actually one bot, and we mentioned it in the very beginning, and that's Gemini, who is actually able to get the information which is executed by JavaScript on your pages. But this is only because Gemini has the access to Googlebot index, and Googlebot index has the information about the pages which were rendered by JavaScript. So this bot is able to get the information from the pages with JavaScript render content, but this bot doesn't still render the information itself, render the JavaScript content itself on your pages. So to make your website totally AI bot friendly, Google bot friendly, you need to keep all the necessary vital SEO information and all the necessary vital content on your pages right in the HTML. This is related to all content types like FAQs, tables, lists. This is related to internal links and the links to images and the files which you might have on your pages. Pay attention to, of course, to SEO tags, because we're not forgetting about the AI bots. We're not forgetting about the search bots as well. So do not render hreflangs, robotics, or meta-name robots, and the canonical tags by JavaScript too, because those are not going to be seen by Googlebot for a while. Yeah.
Maybe a quick question here as well. When we say we need to include as many internal links as possible in the HTML, what would you recommend for a client with a very big website, e-com site with a huge navigation? Given the fact that Google has a 2 megabyte crawl limit on HTML files, would you recommend to include the entire mega menu in the HTML or something in between?
Yeah, I get your point. So the short answer is yes. So I would definitely recommend having all the links which are in your navigation bar, which are in your recommender components, right in the HTML. While we're doing some expert SEO audits at JetOctopus, so we often stumble upon the issue on e-commerce websites, usually where the recommender components are being rendered by JavaScript. And that's okay, because those components are they are built in a way where they check which products you've seen during your organic session or whatever session you have on the website, and they kind of like build the recommendations based on cookies or something like this, right? So this is the true like the purely CRO solution, right? But when we're talking about internal linking, we're talking about the actual seamless connections between the pages on your website. So in these cases, we usually recommend having additional internal linking components with static links, which point to a similar products and probably similar categories and subcategories to make your internal linking wider within the silo. So something like this, yes. And
Right.
moving on to the next part, we're going to be talking about the website speed now. So again, so AI is not the crawler first; it's the responder first. This the responder engine, right? So unfortunately, there is no official information about the benchmarks of how fast your websites needs to be for AI to be properly crawled by AI. So we're going to stick to the industry standards here, and we're going to lower them a little bit as well, because again, AI bots are not that powerful as Google bots. So things that Google bot could have crawled hundreds of times per day will probably be crawled like a couple of times per week by AI bots. That's definitely true. So let's keep an eye on your TTFP, and it definitely should be under 600 milliseconds, where 200 milliseconds is going to be the best result for both for Googlebot and AI bots as well. Please reduce your HTML size. Keep an eye on your HTML size, since, as Peter also mentioned, so the new benchmark for Googlebot is 2 megabytes, and if we assume that AI bots are not that heavy lifting, let's say, so let's keep an eye and have our HTML up to 1 megabyte per page, and of course, the response timeout is around 3 seconds. This is something we've seen across millions of pages we have to deal with at JetOctopus, and when the website servers do not answer within 3 seconds, there was like a big, like stick up in the chart. So this is a very big chance of getting like fifth class response or 499 response from the server for AI bots. So this is something we've seen based on the data we have. So 3 seconds is going to be the benchmark here. Yeah, and yeah, so this is also reflected on the different versions of AI bots as well as we've seen in the very beginning. So we currently see the comparison between OpenAI search bot again and OpenAI user bot. On the left, you see that there is actually almost no difference based on how fast the pages are for a OpenAI search bot, because he is looking for some useful information to show users further. But as a result, mostly the fast pages are shown to the users by OpenAI. So it doesn't that matter for OpenAI to find information, whether it's slow or fast rendered by your website. But eventually, mostly the fast pages are going to be shown to the users. So your content still needs to be pretty fast. And yeah, the faster it is, there's the highest chance it's going to be seen. Additionally, according to the latest researches, well, we've been talking about the HTML, so we already know that AI bots, they are kind of like a little bit lazy, and that they do not read all the long pages and long reads to the very, very bottom. So this is another hint to keep your HTML very thin and to keep all the vital information there. So let's wrap this up. For the technical and the crawling part, so let's not forget about the most basic SEO things, your robots.txt and your sitemap. Rule your AI crawling by adding the directories and URL types in robots.txt. Also, don't forget to add your sitemap in robots.txt as well. Always keep an eye on your internal linking and your website structure and your anchors. They should be relevant, and you need to link only to relevant pages on your website, because this helps for AI bots to understand if they would like to follow those links or not, if they're related to the content they're currently looking at or not. What else? So yeah, have all your money pages as close to the homepage as possible and as interlinked as possible as well. And yeah, don't forget to have all your vital SEO and AI content and internal links in HTML, and be fast, extremely fast, as you can be. So see, the SEO has evolved, and everyone has already told about this, and everyone is discussing this every year or almost like every quarter and everything like that. And this way user search changed this year and last year is actually extreme. So you have to answer a couple of questions to understand if AI bots will choose your content to further distribute it to the millions of their users, right? So, and the AI will choose you if you're at least really fast and easy to crawl. Internal links and all the content should be in HTML, so don't forget about this. And of course, don't forget that your content needs to be the answer for the millions of the users. I think that's it. A slide about myself, and I'm passing the microphone to Pieter.
Yes. Normally, I should be able to click through now or not. Let me see. Otherwise, I will. No, I don't think I can move. So I'll share myself. Let me see if that. Oh, I'm not able to share. So we'll have to check this.
Give me a second.
For a second.
Yeah, so please try now.
Yeah, that should be better. All right. This is better then?
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. So where Stan was focusing on the technical part, I'm going to give some thoughts on how to optimize your website to be found better, maybe more from a content and on-page perspective. But before I do that, I would like to explain or just remind you, because you know all this already, remind you of two more things, because that actually makes the tactics to improve your website make a lot more sense. So before we optimize, I want to show you, obviously you've heard the phrase AI has killed SEO, has killed search, but we all know that's not true. It has merely changed it. But search has changed. So that's something I think everyone will agree on. Where a few years ago, a typical search in Google was just some generic keywords, an average of 4 words long, which was already quite a long tail, we called it, maybe more than 4 words then. And searching in Google was just a human comparing sources and products, going back and forth between websites, having like dozens of tabs open, and by the end of the day you had your product of choice, you found it. So one query, maybe a follow-up query, ended up in many clicks often. Today, we see a shift towards a conversation where we type in not just a generic keyword, but a hyper-personal prompt where we actually explain who we are, where we live, what our needs are, before we actually type in the real question that we have. That's why we see averages of around 10 words long prompts in AI mode, and up to 70 words long averages in ChatGPT, which is a total game changer, obviously. Also, we see that the comparison between sources, between products, between answers is no longer done by humans. It's just done by the chat, the AI chat that we have in front of us. One prompt, one very long prompt, now often ends up in no clicks at all. So there are a few big differences which we have to keep in mind when we think about optimizing our website for this kind of conversation. What's also important is to understand or have some basic understanding of how AI tools work, more or less. One thing that was already mentioned by Stan is the fan-out principle, fan-out technique. Because when someone asks a question, enters a prompt in ChatGPT, in AI mode, etc., it doesn't simply answer this one question. It will fan out your question in related questions, in extensions to this question, in follow-up questions even. And all of these queries, new queries that are created by the tool itself, will be sent to the large language model, to the LLM, to the brain of the AI model, which will try to answer all of this. But they have their limitations, these large language models, because they are trained, but they are not trained in real time. They have a knowledge cutoff date, and as far as I've seen, the latest version of ChatGPT, for instance, now has a knowledge cutoff date dating back at August 31st of last year. So that's more than half a year by now already. That this LLM doesn't know anything about. If we would look at the LLM only. So that's why there's an extension to this, because very often the tool will need more context. To get this context, it will look at simply look at Google. Very often it will use the latest we know is that it uses SERP API to crawl Google, to find answers over there, to find interesting links. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. And it will also, and this is also what Stan referred to, it will also use a specific bot, the user bot, to ground your website, to fetch real-time content from your website, the retrieval augmented generation, this is called. So that's an additional layer of content that it will assemble. All of these sources, the LLM, the SERP results, the retrieval augmented generation, plus yourself, because it is personalized also, the answer, this will all be synthesized by ChatGPT, by other tools, into one big answer. So this is important to keep in mind to get 5 tactics that I will go through in the next few minutes to stay or become more visible. Unfortunately, the first one will already mildly disappoint you, I think, because my first advice would be to keep doing SEO. Google has not disappeared because of ChatGPT. On the contrary, they're still standing strong. And what we see is, because what we saw earlier in the previous slides, Google is still being used to find answers by a lot of AI tools, not just the Gemini-powered AI tools, but ChatGPT itself also still uses Google as a source very often. We can see this in the answers, being in the top 3 in the traditional Google search results still gives you a high chance of being part of the answer. Now, this is a graph that you've probably seen, and there are a lot of opinions about this graph because some people say that, but being first in Google only make sure that you have like 10% visibility in ChatGPT. That's not a lot, or like 20% in Perplexity. But saying this actually misses the point of the fan-out techniques, because as we've shown, one prompt, one query in an AI tool, it doesn't only look at this one query, it looks at a lot of other questions as well. So if you take these into account, the percentages of inclusion would be much, much higher. Also, we've seen, GEO, AI SEO, however you would like to call it. It's a lot of people try to say it's very new, it's brand new. It's nothing like SEO. But what we have seen so far is that new tactics that emerged from this so-called new principle has already caused a lot of websites to feel a lot of harm. We sometimes pick up on things like what we see here, the 2 examples from LinkedIn, where we see that websites that have mass created AI content, hundreds of pages, where in 2025 they were really proud on LinkedIn, saying that they gained a lot of traffic. And now, not even 1 year later, they have almost been completely they almost completely disappeared from Google. Also, their AI results went down, because obviously when you disappear in Google, your AI results will go down. Same thing with the self-promoting listicles, where you put yourself, you look for the best agency, for instance, and you put yourself on one, and then some of your competitors below that. This kind of self-promotional tactics, apparently these have stopped working as well, and might even harm a few websites that are using this tactic. So it's our main advice to our clients is don't do anything that would harm your SEO game. We still use this slide. This is a slide that we have been using. This graph is something we've been using for many years, from before ChatGPT came to life. And it still applies, actually, because starting at the top, your crawlability, your indexability is still key. If you're not open to bots, if bots cannot visit your websites, obviously you will not be found. On the second row, quality content is what makes you stand out from your competition. This was the case for SEO 4 or 5 years ago, and it's still the case today for AI tools, because if you don't have anything else different to say than your competitors, why would you be chosen to be part of an answer? After that, you can still obviously optimize for specific questions, make sure your user experience is great, etc. These are all important things for SEO, as well as for your AI visibility. A second tactic that I would like to discuss is be a trustworthy source. We've seen the cutoff date, for instance, which tells us that the tools, the AI platforms, the AI models are actually searching in real time often for knowledge to add to their question from after the cutoff date. This is actually a very logical explanation for what we are seeing, because what we are seeing is that recent content works better in, for instance, ChatGPT. We see that, for instance, the sources that are being used are 25% more recent than the sources that are used in Google. And that's meaningful, because even Google already has like a freshness bonus, a freshness boost for new updated content. So that's already quite a lot. Other research has shown that 95% of ChatGPT citations is younger than 10 months old, or has been updated within the last 10 months. So also, this is something you can work with. This is something you can think about when you want to optimize your website. Make sure that your important pages are updated on a regular basis. Because of the cutoff date, it's no more than logical that these pages will have more chance of being part of the answer. And when it comes to earning trust of these tools, obviously the old EEAT principle, which is also something that was going on before ChatGPT came and other AI models. Showing your experience, being unique in your data, sharing deep case studies, etc. Sharing your author, being in depth. That is also things that will make you stand out. Using the right sources. Make sure your PR is doing great. Make sure your Wikipedia page, your Wikidata page is as good as it as possibly can be, and be up to date, etc. for your trust, etc. Then there's the answers, because we've seen that people are actually searching in very, very long terms. it's actually often question after question after question in one prompt. So it's very important that you try to find which the questions are. It's obviously vital that you look at that. Also, remember the fan out technique. There's not just the question of your client. There's also the related questions, etc. So all of these questions you should keep an eye out for to get and include these to your website.
A small question here. So since there are so many fan out searches, and we also see this like the huge actually hockey stick growth of those searches through the data sets which we have in JetOctopus. So would you recommend any way to actually see those questions? So where they can be retrieved from?
Yeah, that's a very good question. There obviously OpenAI keeps changing their backend, their code all the time. Until recently, it was possible to check to find the actual fan out questions directly in the code by using the developer tools in your browser. But they are hidden right now. But apparently, if you use the OpenAI API, you can still get hold of the actual fan outs from ChatGPT. There are also a few tools out there that simulate the fan out process pretty good. For instance, the Australian SEO guy, Dan Petrovic, has a very good tool for that. So that's something that it's a simulation, but it's very realistic. So at least it can give you some great ideas, some content ideation ideas. And then there's the fact that, in Google Search Console, you can actually, if you filter on longer queries, like a few, like more than 7 words long, for instance, using that contains question words, what, where, who, when, or comparison words, best versus, etc. These kind of things that can actually give you a very good idea of which kind of fan out questions were created sometimes. So. But it's very interesting to keep an eye on that. You're definitely right. Because if the more of these questions that you answer on your website, the bigger the chance you have of becoming the choice of being the chosen as a citation, as a source. Because these two scenarios, if there are 3 questions to be answered, and you know that these tools, they need to find their answers quickly, obviously they will prefer one website where they can find all the answers instead of needing to visit 3 websites. So that makes sense to just find the right questions. So besides the fan out research, you can also look at the people also ask box in the Google search results, or tools like Answer the Public or Also Asked, or just talk with your client support team. Often they have the questions your real clients are asking in real life. So that's a very valuable source as well. And when you need to find the right questions, it's also important to think about who your target audience is, because I wrote here, personas are back. A persona, it's something that's been very important in marketing for quite some time. But when someone is looking for simply, I wrote warmtepomp, that's a heat pump in Dutch. But that doesn't tell us anything about a persona. Whereas now people will search explaining what their living conditions are, what their house is like, how many people that are in the same house living, before they ask which type of heating they will need. So you will need to understand who you are writing for, who your clients, who your persona, main personas are, before writing, and the more explicitly you can answer to these personas questions, the bigger the chance you have, because it's hyper personalized, an answer of ChatGPT, of AI mode, etc. The bigger your chance of being the part of the answer again. Also, make your answers multimodal, because everybody who's used ChatGPT, who's used AI mode, etc., must have noticed that often there are videos, there's images, sometimes audio is also taken into account. So all of this put together will, if you have all of these different types of sources, you have a bigger chance of becoming part of the answer here as well.
And we're talking about like multimodality, so the PDFs and the tables are also useful for AI, right?
Yeah, definitely. Tables, anything that's comparative content is very, very useful. PDFs also, so make sure that your PDFs are readable. Make sure the meta tags of your PDFs are filled in to enhance your chances of actually being part of the answer again. So make your PDFs, maybe make them clickable again. Also, you can add buttons in PDFs as well. If you think your PDF has a big chance of showing up as part of the answer, being referenced as a citation, make sure that it's landing worthy, because it's indeed, as you mentioned, it's also part of this multimodal retrieval. Then be structured and scannable. This was also mentioned already in the part before. These bots, they don't have time anything. It needs to go very structured. The timing is crucial. That it's not only from a technical perspective that you need to be structured, you need to be clean, lean. You also can actually optimize your on-page structure. Make sure that your main question is on top, of course. Give the answer immediately underneath in a few words. Quickly explain immediately what the rest of the page is about. The rest of the page then can be the follow-up questions that you answer in paragraphs. Make sure you use external links also, internal links also, obviously, but external links can actually work to gain trust as well. Add media, add tables, as you mentioned also. And especially the paragraph factor. It's something that's gaining a lot of attention these days. In geo terms, it's called chunking, but in fact, it's nothing more than having very good paragraphs that can stand on their own, that can compete with another paragraph on another page of your competitor. So it's no longer page versus page; it's actually paragraph versus paragraph. But obviously, writing in paragraphs, it's not something new. It's not any decent copywriter will obviously make sure your content is divided in logical paragraphs that can stand on their own. That's the definition of a paragraph. And at the bottom of your page, you can add a conclusion. Again, make sure that it's easily scannable, etc. Add trust signals, etc. The technical red carpet was already explained, I think, and proven with data by Stan. The faster your loading time, the shorter your server response time, the better. Don't ask for this kind of tools to render client-side JavaScript. Even if they could do so, they don't have the time often to put them in a rendering queue like Google does. And summarize your data in the metadata and structured data, etc. Then there's also the brand mentions. Of course, you want to be mentioned as a brand in the answer. And there it's actually important to understand how an LLM, how generative AI answers questions. They don't answer a question. It's a wrong phrasing. They just give one word after another based on some mathematical probability. And the same applies to brands. The more often that a brand that the bots of an AI tool come across your brand throughout the internet, the more logical, the more mathematically correct in their eyes it will be to add your brand as part of the answer. So make sure to think of that. So with that in mind, it's obviously very interesting to keep an eye on the typical sources for these AI tools. Very often you see things like this appearing in big research, like for instance, ChatGPT relies on Reddit and Wikipedia a lot. Google AI Mode often uses their own channels like Google partners or YouTube, etc. So that's interesting to know, but obviously, this is not for every website. This is not for every brand to try to be part on Forbes.com or something like that. So it is important to keep an eye on the sources for your specific topics. So make sure to, you can manually test this, do a few prompts of your own and check which are the sources that are being used over and over again. Or you can use one of the many prompt tracking tools that are out there, and get an overview of which sources are actually being used a lot. So this is a screenshot from RankScale, the tool we use for prompt tracking. It's a bit double these kind of tools because the prompts that you put in there, it's a simulation. It's never the same as a real prompt, obviously, but it's something you can look at it. But what we have noticed as an agency is actually that trying to create your own relevant sources actually even works better, because you can look at the sources that are being used for the moment that your competitors use or mention. But what we have done in the past, also together with JetOctopus, is create visibility for our own. We've organized an event together last year in Belgium. We wrote a case study together. And when we see for searches that are sometimes very competitive, finding the best SEO agency or something, we see that these kind of sources are actually being surfaced by these tools. And these are sources that we could never have found ourselves with no matter which research tool. So really think about positive partnerships that you can make, tool sources that you can create yourself. Often these are the best and sometimes easiest to get. So these were the 5 tactics. I really feel I should add another one. Obviously, you need to measure impact, especially in a webinar together with JetOctopus. This is so crucial. If you don't measure your impact, you're just flying blindfolded. And also at OMcollective, we really believe in the power of log files there, because tracking the right bots, the user bots, you can actually really see from real life data, not simulated data, which are the popular topics, how often your website is mentioned. You can even spot hallucinated URLs, which is very interesting because, it's very, sometimes it can be an issue. Also, they are real data, and they don't cause the huge energy waste that these prompt tracking tools, we have to be honest there, are creating. Because everybody knows that asking a question in ChatGPT or whatever, this requires quite a lot of energy, quite a lot of water consumption. So when you have a prompt tracking tool that pushes thousands of questions, sometimes every day, into these tools just to get an idea of how visible you are, that puts a lot of pressure on these tools, on their energy consumption, etc. So a log file is just something that is there. You have this available on your website, so on your server. So make use of it. I would really say.
Yeah, and yeah, we've been rooting for like log files gathering and log files analytics for like a couple of last years already. And so, how do you think what would be the way for some websites which don't gather the logs? How can they get the information about like AI bots visits or AI bot activities or something?
Yeah. Yeah, there are a few ways to look at this without the log files, obviously, because yeah, we do know that sometimes it's not the easiest thing, but as soon as it's set up, it's perfect. But sometimes it takes some time to set up. But there are a few things you can look at these days. I think last month or so, Bing opened in Bing Webmaster Tools. They opened an AI module, which actually tells you something about impressions in AI tools, about topics that are being searched about in Copilot and Bing's AI answers. So that's an interesting thing. As I mentioned before, using the right regularly expressions, right filtering in Google Search Console can also tell you something about the type of questions, the number of questions that are being asked in AI mode, in AI overview. Because if someone types in a question of 10 words long, asking for a comparison between different products, you can already safely assume, I think, that this person expects an AI overview or is asking this question in AI mode, not as a generic Google search. And then obviously there are the brand trackers, the prompt trackers, however you want to call them. These tools, they give you some information, but as said, you have to keep in mind that it's simulated data. It's not real world data, but it can give you some ideas, obviously.
Yeah, well, while everything is in the logs and you own them, so you just need to take them, structure,
Yeah,
and you're gonna see everything. And
yeah,
while on the other hand, you have to use like various tools where all the data is like granular or something like this. Yeah, that's
yeah,
100%
indeed.
true.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, this is my summary here as well. The log files, it tells you a lot about mentions, about popular topics. You can always use a brand tracker to check if a certain topic is popular in your log files. You see that it works well, but you don't get any clicks out of it. Then maybe you can use a brand tracker to see what's going on there, if you're not the best mention or something like that. But what's even more interesting is to combine your log files with your GA4 or your analytics tool of your choice, because then you can actually link the popular topics with actual traffic. And this will then give you an idea. You can actually almost calculate something like a click-through rate, because an impression is then sort of it's like it's like an impression being visited by by the ChatGPT user bot, and the traffic is then your click. So you can actually see for your clients or for your own website which pages are being visited a lot and get a lot of clicks, or being visited a lot and gets no clicks. So this gives you an idea of where to optimize also by combining your data. So finally, just to go over it again, I would advise to keep doing SEO. Don't do anything that harms your SEO. Additionally, on top, providing fresh and trustworthy content. This is good for your SEO, obviously, but extra important for GEO. Answers to the questions in a structured way, and try to be relevant, be on relevant websites with your brand mentions. And don't forget to measure. So thanks a lot from my part as well. And if you want to stay in touch, you can connect with me on LinkedIn or with OMcollective. Always happy to get in discussion if you have questions for us there as well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Peter. And thanks a lot for all the questions we've received today. I think we can have a small Q&A session further. So please think of the questions and ask them in the chat. And Peter and I, we're gonna do our best to answer them for you.
Yes. All right. Shall we have a look?
Yeah, I've tried my best to answer the questions which were during when you've been performing. Those are about the page size and everything.
Okay.
What else? Some other questions were about what is the difference between the button and the link on the page? Yeah, so this kind of like technical questions.
Okay. I'm not sure if there's any other questions then regarding to the other parts.
Yeah, nothing like that. So thank you, thanks everyone for visiting us today, and thank you, Peter, for performing
Yeah,
the webinar. I really like working with you, so I think we should have another one really soon.
definitely.
Yeah, thank you. Also reminding that you can opt in for a demo of JetOctopus tools and the way how you can read your AI logs, how you can combine all the logs information with the crawl and with your analytics tools and everything. So feel free to opt in for a demo, and we're gonna have a chat with you as well. The link is in the chat in Zoom, and we're probably gonna email everything, all the materials and the slides, which Peter also said. So all the slides gonna be emailed you a little bit later, probably tomorrow. Thanks everyone for attending.
Yes. All right. Bye. Thank you, Stan.
Have a nice rest of the day. Thank you, Peter, again. Thank you.
Yes. Bye.